let's get into some more positive. All right. And we definitely have to start with the performance of Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy came out and it looked a little shaky. He's throwing off his back leg. He's throwing near interceptions, and it's clear that the pressure from the New York Giants, who we have found out now, blitzed him on 87% of his snaps. All right, 87% of his snaps, or 84% of his drop back passes. All right. Obviously early on, I think that kind of got to him. And the one thing that I always like to see, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And as it pertains to Brock Purdy so far, we've seen him start off hot. We've seen him now start off poorly, right? Like that first drive, it was shaky to say the least. It looked weird. He was throwing the ball into traffic. He was throwing the ball into trouble. But luckily, got some good players. I think Kyle Shanahan recognized this, and Kyle said, okay, I'm going to reel you in just a little bit. I'm going to get you a little bit of help. We got some studs. We got some weapons. We are going to make it to where whatever they're doing right now, we're going to kind of offset that. And he did it with screens. So he threw some screens to Deebo Samuel. He threw some screens to Christian McCaffrey, got the offense going. Boom, you're moving. Cool. You end up scoring some points. Again, was it an amazing first half? No, but it was like, okay, we made the necessary adjustments. And from that point, it was very clear that it started to settle Brock Purdy down a little bit. And I saw people saying this was his worst game. And now I'm thinking that, I called the fan base, a little spoiled for how they looked at the first half and said, that's awful when you score 17 points. But I think the expectations for Brock Purdy are just as high as the expectations for this team. And the expectations for this team are that of a quarterback that you hold, Patrick Mahomes to that standard, right? Where it's just like, and even then, I don't know how much of y'all watch other teams, Patrick Mahomes isn't perfect for entire games. Patrick Mahomes is just perfect or special in the moments that he needs to be perfect and special in. And that's what makes him special, right? And we watched him against the 49ers in the Super Bowl. It wasn't great that entire game. He threw multiple interceptions. Hell, he threw a fourth quarter interception. But when it was time for him to be great, like that's what separates the guys. Not for the first 3 quarters and you putting up some garbage stats, but then you can't seal the deal or can't seal the win. All right. So for Brock Purdy, I think he's being judged and criticized literally on every single throw, and they're holding him to this super high standard. All right. But all I saw was a guy with this. And we continue to see him checking off boxes. I understand if you're like, well, Croc, you went all in on Brock Purdy. Okay, who fucking cares? Okay. I reserve judgment on the fact that, like, I'm not going to crown anybody. Everybody knows that right now. Like, I don't see a guy one time and just be like, this guy's going to be amazing. Like, man, we'll see. I think he did a lot of good things, and I wanted to see some things. I've seen everything I've needed to see for Brock Purdy. I know who he is and what he is now. Is just, okay, how good can he get? How more efficient can he be when he continues to see different things? It does help to have Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Shanahan. But being able to utilize those guys and play at a high level, like he's doing that. And in games where we talk about, I think it was Michael Parsons that's like, I want to see some adversity. And maybe his adversity was still a little different because we haven't seen him lose, right? Like, you got to lose. You'd assume at some point, maybe not, I don't know. But, you want to start, continue to kind of check off these boxes and just see everything that you need to see. But ultimately, as it, pertains to someone being resilient, someone, being able to fight through adversity, like, we continue to see that. He dropped some dots yesterday. That layered throw over on the left side to George Kittle was a beautiful throw. That was probably my favorite throw. There were a few big-time throws in this game, but that was probably my favorite throw, where, again, pressure in his face, he's throwing off of his back foot, and he just layers it right over and underneath defender, but in front of the on-top defender, and right into the hands of George Kittle. That was a beautiful throw, okay? His throw to Christian McCaffrey that ultimately was dropped. That was a beautiful throw. Like, that's a big-time throw. Like, just, again, pressure, all that. The touchdown to Ronnie Bell, pressure in his face, off his back, like, perfect spot, perfect timing, perfect anticipation. The throw to Deebo Samuel for a touchdown. Like, he's showing you big-time stuff. So for anybody to say that this guy has, what did they say, man? Like, he wasn't good. He had his first 300-yard game. He threw 37 times in this win. I think he did terrific. And I think when you look at him throwing 37 times, it sounds like the Giants, who still, I mean, their defense was on the field a lot. I think the 49ers ran 78 offensive plays. 49ers ran the ball a ton. We're going to talk about just kind of Christian McCaffrey and that whole thing. But I don't know what 49er fans are expecting. And maybe it's for this team to be perfect on every single drive. But ultimately, they are what they are. And I think they are a very well-oiled machine. They have shown now back-to-back weeks that they can they go through some little adversity. They're able to overcome that and make those changes mid-game. Will there be a time where maybe for an entire game they're off a little bit? Cool. But will that be the norm for this team? I don't think so. And I don't think it's going to be the norm for Brock Purdy as well. So I think Brock Purdy played extremely well. I think he was under fire this entire game. I think the right side of the offensive line for the 49ers stinks with Spencer Burford and McKivitz, and he's fighting through that. And I think he did a good job. He was efficient. He did good. He had a shaky first quarter or first drive. I think he bounced back. So he continues to check off these things that I want to see. And as it pertains to like what the players see from him, as far as being that leader, as far as being that guy that's leading this team, I'm all in. I am all in. So it's been kind of weird, man. It's been kind of weird with how they view him. They're holding him to this like dude still has like 8 regular season starts. 8. And he's played in what? Like he's played in like 3 more games, right? Because 2 postseason, really 3 postseason. So 4 more games. And then the game that he came in against the Miami Dolphins. All right, so I think he's doing a terrific job. I'm very pleased with what I've seen. I'm very pleased with the on-the-fly adjustments I've seen from him. I've been very pleased by seeing him fight through a certain level of adversity at what has been thrown at him and how he adjusts to it without getting rattled for an entire game. Good job, Brock Purdy. Dudes is tripping.